Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, episode number 122. Today, we're going to be talking with Erin Hill about her first 100-mile race this year at the Wasatch 100. So if it's your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Trail Manners Podcast. We are episode 122, and today we've got a very nervous guest. Could barely do the mic check, but we got our fingers crossed that we can pull through.
She's never spoken public in her life.
I know, right? And we'll get into why because of her job. But today we are super excited to have on a very special guest. I know we say that a lot. We have Erin Hill with us today.
Hey, guys.
She's giggling.
Yep.
She's got her tattoo sleeve on.
She does.
She brought an assortment of tattoo sleeves for us.
20 of them.
From. Yeah. And I already got mine.
She was nervous that you didn't get yours done.
Yeah, because I've been complaining for so long.
For 6 months now.
Yeah, well, it has been 6 months, and I got it done like 2 days ago.
Right.
It only took me 13 hours on my last session. Yeah, so we finished like 2 a.m., and then he asked me for a ride home. So I gave my tattoo guy, and on the way home, he's like, hey, can we stop at the store?
Can you give me a chimichanga on the way home?
Right. So that time we got in bed like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Did
you just crash on his couch?
No. He lives in his grandparents' basement, so there's not enough room.
Are you making that up?
No.
Oh, my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, with his 2 kids.
Oh, no.
He's a nice guy.
He's a great artist, a nice guy.
Crazy good artist. But yeah, anyway, back to Erin. Erin's been a listener of the show for quite some time. We had the pleasure of finally meeting her, I don't know, this year.
This is the first time I think I ever met her.
In person.
Yeah.
We did for Stephanie
Steph Gardner's birthday
Yeah.
run, yeah.
And then we've seen her here and there.
Yeah.
Because, we run sometimes, too. So, Erin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to get into your background a little bit, kind of introduce people to who you are, because we've got the fortune to kind of know who you are. But give us a little background. I mean, you're all dressed from work, right?
Yeah, straight up.
She's got her work attire, flip-flop shorts, tank top, and hat on
Those
backwards.
are some good-looking toenails for running 100 miles just recently.
I know there's only one that's sort of gray. But,
sort of gray? That doesn't even count. That doesn't even count. That's just normal wear and tear.
Yeah, right.
The blisters are covered. I drained them, so they're
awesome.
They're good now. But
that's how we love to start a show.
Yeah. Talk about people's feet,
Drained blisters, everything. So Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do? And then we can jump into the running part.
Okay. I am from Utah, born and raised, and I'm a public defender, attorney.
Like a Marvels, like superhero defender?
Kind of,
okay.
yeah. Sort of like that, with the tights and everything.
Well, you have this arm sleeve on.
Well, what is your superhero name?
That's what I was going to get to next.
Oh, shoot. I don't have one. You guys are going to have to come up with
Well, we called you for a while. We called you Erin Turtle Hill.
That's right, because you found a turtle on the trail.
Sadly, I still have the turtle. And
sadly,
take that turtle home?
We want to take it to southern Utah and
release
it into the wild, because I think somebody just did that.
Really?
At 22nd Street. That's where we found it. It's a desert.
Took 20 years to get up here because it doesn't like the heat.
Yeah, right.
Like
and we're going to take it all the way back down.
Nice.
So, when we go for a soccer tournament this winter, we'll
drop it off.
Free.
Yeah. Nice. You're going to be like, son of a... This is my next 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. Those things live for 150 years.
I know.
You just make that trip.
It's going to be like, my wife's going to be pissed. All right, so you're a public defender, which means you defend people in court.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
That's pretty awesome. So you're used to speaking.
Yeah, that's why I'm so good at it here.
Like check 4.
Oh, boy.
How long have you been doing that?
Public defense work I've only been doing for about 6 or 7 years, but I've been practicing law for 17.
Okay. Have you ever gone up against Phil Lowry?
No, thank goodness.
Yeah, right? That'd be interesting.
That'd need to be YouTubed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, different law. I'm in juvenile court, actually, so I represent delinquent kids and parents whose kids have been removed.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Glad you haven't had to see me then.
Yeah. It's a good work. So, yeah, I do that. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm with my kids or running trails.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We had the fortune, I saw you at Logan Peak and had a great conversation with one of your daughters.
Yes.
That was awesome. That totally made my day.
Right.
It made her day.
It was right around the start of the World Cup, like second or third day it seems like of the World Cup, and me and her just were.
You guys went over your stat sheet.
We totally did. It was awesome.
Yeah.
After you contacted me to ask me to come on the show, I told her. He said, "Hey, guess what, Aves?" And I told her I was coming on your show, and she's like, "Mom, you're famous." And so I have to thank you guys. It'll probably be the last time I'm cool to her.
Oh, I thought you meant you're famous and you're going on that show.
No, she thought that was a big time, so she's pretty excited that I'm going to be
That's awesome. Well, let's not spoil it.
Right. Ride that as long as you can.
I'm going to because she's 12, and so I'm pretty lame most of the time.
Oh, yeah. So you're a public defender, married kids, and you're a runner.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you get into running?
Well, I've always run. My parents were runners,
okay.
so but it was road running. I never did track or anything like that in high school or college, but I've always just, done races with my dad or my mom and run. But what happened was I started working out at a gym a lot, and I don't know if you guys know Matt Connors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
really well.
He worked out at that gym. And
Matt worked out at a gym. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know he did that.
He likes to lift on the side. In fact, I just saw him this week, and he still does
He used
that.
to lift with me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Maddie.
So I would always do my cardio, like cross-train on a stair climber.
Right.
So he came up to me one day, and he's like, there are way better ways to do that. So that's where it all started. So, yeah, and I started getting out there. I hiked and backpacked with my dad growing up, but in terms of trail running, I didn't even really know that it was a thing.
Right.
And started doing it after he suggested it, and I just fell in love, and I do not like to run on the road anymore.
So about how long ago was that trail running starting?
About 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, so not too long, really.
Yeah, it's not been that long.
And you didn't run, where'd you go to college? You went in Utah?
U of U.
U of U, okay.
And law school there as well.
Nice. So you like the state, you haven't left.
No,
really.
I've been here always.
Nice. So you've done, we do our stalking, because that's just kind of what we're known for. Our game's been off a little bit, but I think we're back on. So you've done a few races.
A few, yeah.
And last year you did the Speed Goat. And that's was that your first, tough trail race? Or did you do something before that one?
I did Salt Flats 50 miler.
Okay, so Speed Goat was your first tough trail race.
Right?
I'm just saying, 50 miles. I felt pretty proud at the time.
No, that's awesome. That's
but
awesome.
no, there was no climbing.
As Eric pats you on your head, that's good.
Good job, Erin.
Good job.
Yes. Speed Goat, but I would say before Wasatch, I would have said Speed Goat was the hardest race that I've done. It was killer.
Yeah, because you put Salt Flats 50 next to Speed Goat 50K, and they look different.
The elevation profiles are really similar.
One looks like the patient's dead.
Yeah,
and the other one looks like
he's about
super
to die.
excited. So that was your first tough trail race, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's
challenging.
That's super challenging on a lot of levels. So you lived through that, and you did amazing.
Survived it.
And then you thought, this year you've done a couple more races. You did Logan Peak, which is a 28-miler. Me and Joel were at that. We mentioned that before. You were second female, 13th overall in 452.
Nice. That's fast.
But before we get to that, you've been mentioned on our show a lot because you enjoy vertical. You enjoy climbing. Every week you're at 20,000 plus. And we give you, we shout you out every week, basically, but then we're always like, you did 28,988. What? 12 more feet.
Yeah, exactly right.
Here's the thing.
Megan Martinez should be emailing you every day saying, "Come on, round up."
When I was close to 30, one week, and then you brought it up, and I was like, I didn't even think about that, and then I was so mad that I hadn't rounded it up. So yeah, you got to me.
So do you do a lot of? You do a lot of climbing then, because it looks like a lot of you do a lot of elevation. What's your primary?
Where's your go-to?
I winter Malins.
Okay.
Because you can get there all year, and it's a great climb for the distance, and you can do repeats on it, and it's great. I think it's really good. Some fun in the summer. I like North Mahogany is great. It's a drive, though.
Where's that?
It's just outside of American Fort Canyon.
Yeah, that's far away.
And
Oh
it
my
is,
God, I never heard
it
of
is
that.
a climb.
Yeah.
It's,
North Mahogany.
Yeah.
Sounds like a street.
It's a good one.
Like all the rich people live on. Where do you live? North Mahogany.
You guys have to check that out. It's good. So, yeah, climbing, I enjoy climbing.
And do you do most of your running in the early mornings because of your work and kids, or do you just mix it up depending on your schedule?
Yeah, I mix it up. I'm part-time.
Okay.
I don't work full-time. So a lot of times I can get my kids off to school and then go midday while they're at school, or sometimes I'll go really early, but I kind of like sleeping and then going when they're at school. But if it doesn't work out with my work schedule, then, yeah, I'll go early.
Okay. And then after Logan Peak, you did El Vaquero Loco, 50K, our favorite race probably.
I love that one.
And you had a really good day there, 6:26.
So fast.
First female and 7th overall.
Wow.
And that's always
awesome.
That's always a pretty competitive race, like
yeah, it is.
men and women, really, because you always pull some names, but you had a really good, on paper, you had a really good day there.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
And I saw you, and you looked like you had a good day. So you feel good about that one?
Yeah. It really played to my strengths and my weaknesses, that course did. You know, it was the first time I did the course, and so I didn't know exactly what to expect. But, the first you climb a little, and then it's like 10 miles downhill running, and I'm not the best downhill runner. I'm not fast downhill. So because of that, I went pretty slow heading out. But then you turn around and you climb the 10 miles back up, and I think for me, because I'd saved my legs, not on purpose, just because I'm not a good downhill runner, I felt really strong coming back, and I was able to run most of that.
Wow.
And it just works out that course played exactly right into my strengths and weaknesses. I didn't go out intending. It wasn't even on my radar to win. So when I did, I was pretty stoked.
Right.
So how is downhill not a strong suit with all the climbing you do? Do you just walk back? No, I'm serious. I mean, you get 30,000 feet a week. I mean, you got to get back
Your
down.
skills have to be good, decent.
Yeah.
I'm slow. I started Bighorn 50 a couple years ago and rolled my ankle really bad. Like, I thought it was broken. And I'm just more hesitant now than I used to be. So when I say, I didn't walk all the way out on Vaquero, but I'm just not uninhibited like some people are downhill where they just go for it. And I admire that, and I'm jealous of it, but yeah, I'm just slower.
Just a little more timid and careful.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Cautious.
As you get older, that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, Joel's getting really careful.
Damn right. I am. I'm probably twice as slow going downhill now as I used to be.
Joe used to always, not that he does, he used to always just put his headphones in, and I'm like, well, see you later.
Yeah, I'm a little slower now.
And then after El Vaquero, which that was fun. We got a selfie at the burger stand.
Yeah,
I was working the burger stand.
They were good burgers
Shake
too.
Shack.
It was the Manning Shake Shack. I was serving
it.
burgers for hours, which was pretty fun. I still haven't got the smell out of the one shirt though.
Oh, I know, right?
Every time I put it on, I'm like,
it's in that one last nostril hair that you
It
have
is.
to get the pluck.
I can't get to
right?
it.
Oh man,
Get to it.
I'll hold you down.
Neti pots with bleach, everything.
You need to wax that, dude. You see those wax sticks they stick up there?
No. I'm good.
Let's do that.
That just sounds
Let's
bad.
do
I'm
that.
good.
Come on, man.
That's Brazilian herd. I'm not going back for any waxing. And so what else did you do to prepare for Wasatch? Was that kind of it, or was it just kind of your training? Was it long miles? I mean, what was your training? Because we're going to be talking about Wasatch 100. It was your first 100-mile race.
Yeah.
And Wasatch, we've talked on the show to multiple people, and it is a difficult race.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still one of the tough ones, one of the original ones. What else did you do to prepare for the race?
So I am really bad at having like a training plan that's organized. I kind of just go by how I'm feeling, which I'm sure I need to work on that and actually start figuring out a plan. But so I really didn't have anything that I did for Wasatch other than I got out a lot and did a lot of climbing.
Right.
That's about it. I mean, honestly,
it worked.
Yeah, that's it. I was completely ill-prepared for 100. I know now coming out, because I think when you do shorter distance races, I mean shorter being 50 miles, 50 Ks, it's about running, a lot about running. It's about just getting out there and running, and if you've got that physical endurance and you can kind of gut out things that happen in that short distance, and you're not suffering for 16 hours straight or anything like that. And, people tell you 100's hard, and of course you look at it, 100 miles, that's going to be super hard. But I don't think I realized just how hard it was going to be from the standpoint of not even running, right? Because I have good endurance. So, I can go for a long time, but it was all the other things that get thrown at you, just dealing with that and managing it, and not letting any of that get into your head and keep going. I realized that 100 milers are all about managing stuff, and that's awesome to learn that, and now I know that. And
so you say stuff. What was the thing was there one thing that really was most challenging, or was it several things?
So, the bees at the beginning. Everybody talked about the bees.
Bees are nice. It's the yellow jackets.
Yeah, so the hornets,
it's
right?
The yellow jackets / hornets. Those little bastards.
Yeah, they. I run Bear Canyon all the time. It's in my backyard. It's super close to my house, and never have I had an issue. But
really?
I think they nest in the ground there. You see them come up out of the ground when you're running, but I think all those feet stomping just get them super agitated because it's way too early for them to be active.
Right.
5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., and they just swarm. So it was I got hit at the bottom of the canyon. It was not even a mile up the canyon, and started hearing people scream ahead of me.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
And I thought somebody had fallen off. I don't know if you guys have done bear, but it's like cliffed out on one side and then like mountain hill on the other side.
There's nowhere to go.
This is like straight up horror movie.
Yeah.
Right? You're thinking like Jason is up there.
There's nowhere to go.
With the chainsaw? That'd be even better. If somebody was up there with the chainsaw next year, just scaring the crap out
I'm
of
going to be
people.
prepared for you guys next year.
That's right.
So I thought somebody had fallen off the cliff because they all
screaming.
started screaming. And then, as we moved closer, then the people right in front of me started screaming, and they stopped. They didn't run. And it's a conga line, just slow. And I'm just starting, and then, they're swarming me, and I just start screaming and pushing them, like, run! Like, you have got to run. You don't just stand here while they sting. So I luckily only got a couple of stings, one on my stomach, and I didn't realize there was one on the back of my leg. I didn't even feel it. My husband later was like, oh, you've got another one right there. But so I was fortunate because it was both, like, places that didn't really hurt all that bad, and it didn't stop me, and I'm not allergic.
She's steel.
That's what it is.
It's like busted the stinger off in her ab.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Yeah. Nice try.
So, but just like kind of managing that, right? So, and that was okay. It was no problem. But then the other things that I felt really strong from there up until to Big Mountain. And I had like my pacer struggled. And disappeared on me.
Your pacer
from Big Mountain to Lamb.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
And that,
like, you dropped your pacer?
Well, yeah, I don't think he was feeling well, but it.
That's a tough section.
Yeah,
that's a hard section.
Yes,
especially with the heat.
Have you ever run that section before?
Okay, so that's the thing. People for years have been saying, "Oh, I hate that section. That's the worst." And I'm like, "I love it up there. I love it just south of Big Mountain. It's so great." Well, I've only ever run it in the morning on fresh legs,
right?
And I hate that section now.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Really bad.
It's nonstop rollers.
Yes, in the heat and it's
Yes,
exposed.
exactly.
Super dry.
Yeah, and it had been decent weather up the temperatures up to Big Mountain, but then as I lost my pacer, I was trying to figure out where he went.
Oh, no.
So I was totally
So
distracted.
you're worried about that.
Yeah, I was distracted, and I stopped remembering to drink and eat.
Oh, no.
So I roll into Lambs, and I had started getting blisters, and I was nauseated, like super bad, which I've never dealt with either of those things ever running, neither blisters nor nausea. So Lambs to Brighton was kind of like painfully slow, painful. But I had an awesome pacer there, Kalina Zufelt. She's a great runner. She just kept like, let's try running for, 5 feet. Even when I didn't want to run, she kind of got me moving, got me on some chicken broth.
There you go. Yep.
Which seriously got me through the rest of the race.
Good.
Chicken broth and ginger ale. So, so blisters, I'd say, and then just getting behind on nutrition and hydration. The last part, Brighton to finish, it was, probably Brighton to the bottom of Earth's torture chamber. Mm-hmm. It was rough. And I've never experienced that in a race before.
Yeah.
Never. So it was sort of like, wow, this hurts. This really, like, every step hurts with blisters. And it finally just made me realize that 100s are a game. It's like a poker game.
Mm-hmm.
So you come and you get dealt this hand, and you have to kind of look at your hand and try to make the best hand you can out of the cards you're dealt.
Right. It's a good analogy.
And I really actually, it didn't make me not like hundreds. It actually made me more interested in them.
Okay.
Just because it's sort of a game in itself, like apart from running, apart from any of that. I thought it was awesome. So
it's those things you check off. So it's like the bees, that's not, or wasp, that's not every race.
No.
Right? But
No.
heat in that section, it's not every race.
No.
You know, and it's your first one, so you could see where you could get a lot of, I don't know, positivity from it, learning experience from it.
Yeah.
Because like you talk about a poker game, I generally just bluff my way through.
I think I did that too.
You know? Oh yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, so it's all the analogies. Like, this is what I was dealt. I'm not going to fold.
Right. You can
Or
bluff
fold.
pretty easy up to mile 60.
Yeah.
For the most part.
After that, it's just what you got.
Dealing with the variables and if you can gut it out.
Because Wasatch, you know, we've said it before, 100 miles of heaven and hell. That's how they advertise it, which they pretty much get it right.
Yep.
The heaven part, the hell part, you got it. Vertical, there's 24,000 feet of gain, and about the same in descent.
Yes.
And you did it in 29:28.
It's really
so
good.
you went sub 30.
Yes.
You got the pretty turquoise-ish buckle, which is always fun to go after. And you mentioned it before, but the weather, you talked about training later in the day maybe with your kids. Did the weather have a big effect on you, like you were talking from Lambs? Because that kind of seems like the hottest part of the course.
Yeah, it was for sure.
Did the weather play any factor in that, or were you kind of like, I've trained in this before?
So I looking back, ultimately, I think that it got hot, and I forgot to drink enough, and I forgot to eat enough. So, yeah, I think that probably led to some of the nausea that I got. Look, I didn't throw up or anything, but it was just sort of like you're behind on nutrition, and then you don't want to eat.
Just don't feel good.
Yeah. So it was sort of just kind of fighting that and having my pacers have to tell me the rest of the time, like, why don't you try a bite of those mashed potatoes? Why don't you try another sip of that broth that you've got there? So, but yeah. So I think it did. Obviously, it did affect me, but I don't think as much as some people because I didn't throw up or anything. I never felt hot. I just kind of got dehydrated,
irritated.
Yeah,
irritated with the weather.
Yeah.
Was that? Would you say? I mean, did you have a low point of the race? Like, can you think in your head there's a part? Because you giggled. So was there a point, like a low point for you in the race? Like, what it was like, oh, this sucks, or you challenged you harder than maybe most times? Yeah,
so I'd say at Brighton, that was like the third stop that they drained blisters on my feet. And it was just like every step was painful. So then you head down the plunge and dive and then Earth's torture chamber and the boulders, so my foot's hitting on the blisters every step I take, and it's painful every step. And I did. I got almost to the bottom, and my pacer there was Robert Boyden, and I just said, he's finished 800-900s, several hundreds, so he knows how it goes. So I get near the bottom of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm seriously done. And he said, where are you going to go? After
you leave Brighton, it's just 30 miles.
What are you doing? And I just said, fine. Kept moving. But it was in that moment, I was like, this sucks so bad. But I think I actually feel so good about it now. I got done running, and I was like, that's it. I'm never running another step as long as I live. Forget it. And then 24 hours later,
you're on ultra sign up.
She's on there looking, what else we got?
What else can I do this year? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it is an interesting thing where you are just, you're in pain, and that is all part of it. And
managing that.
Yeah. It feels good to be able to do that, and keep moving.
What did you think of the 3 a.m. time of day? I mean, did you have a hard time coming through that first morning? Because it seems like a lot of people on their first 100, they have
2, the 4,
just
2 to
kind
6.
of groggy, and you're trying to figure out. It's like that haze. Did you have any issues through that?
So that was about that same time frame.
Okay.
So you just combined all your bad stuff.
Yeah, I didn't feel tired necessarily, in terms of I want to go to sleep tired.
Right.
I think because my feet were hurting pretty bad, like kept me awake. So I never felt like really tired, but it was more just like, I am doing this to myself. I am like putting myself through this, and my feet are killing me every step, and I'm doing this to myself, you know. So yeah, just in that moment, but it passed, and then I was like, Rob, I'm going to start running as soon as we got done with that, because I wanted, at that point, I was like, I think I can still make the sub 30 if I make myself move, and it's a lot flatter, easier in terms of it's not rocky, bouldery so much.
Service road.
Yeah.
Did you like that finish around the dam? And did you enjoy that?
It was okay because it wasn't hot yet.
Okay.
It was still early. But my friend Andrea McAfee, she did the selfie with you. She ended up coming in a little over 35 hours, and just that second day in the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect her so much for
Well, I got a
doing
bone
that.
to pick with her.
Is that the girl
yeah?
that says she doesn't know you?
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
So we were at Brighton,
so awesome.
and I paced Jim Skaggs to Brighton, and she was struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
She was hobbling like almost blisters or an owie, but she was kind
Blisters.
And so she was with her crew. I'm with Jim, and she comes around, and she was getting ready to head back out with Austin. And I says, all right, go get it. And she goes, thanks. She goes, but I don't know you. And she kept walking.
She's got a video. It's awesome.
And she sent me the video. She sends me. She goes, "This is one of the funniest parts of the race for me." And she totally looks me right in the face, like this close.
Yes.
And she's like, "I don't know who you are." Something similar to that. And I was
Just all
looking at her.
smacked out of her.
Yeah, she was smiling.
She was
She was
shooting.
smiling and everything.
Yeah.
But she left, and I cracked up, because I'd been there before.
Yep.
But then when she sent me that, I was just cracking up, like, yeah, it just took me like 4 days to get over it, but I'm good now.
Yeah.
But that was pretty funny.
She's, I love her, and I made sure I got back so I could watch her come through the finish, and it was, honestly, I cried so hard watching her come through, just because I think it took so much grit for her to suffer through that second day.
Yep.
And to get it done, because I think Austin had told me that he had to have a talk with her and say, like, if you do not get moving right now,
Oh, no.
you're chasing cutoff, so let's move, and she did it. Even, she had a lot of pain with those blisters, and she did it. So.
Just when I saw her Brighton, she did. I saw her coming out of the bathroom to go, and I mean, she could, she was gingerly walking.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
She's got the marshmallow feet.
Yeah. I'm like, oh. But that's when I saw that she finished. I thought, man, she just must have gutted that crazy, because she was about the same time Jim was.
That part of the course is hard.
Well, because you go up Brighton and you got that big downhill. And,
there's a lot of rollers, and you got torture chamber and all that nonsense over there.
Yeah, and then just the sheer heat of going around the water, but you can't touch it.
Yeah,
and I think we're both just rookies and didn't do anything to protect our feet because we've never had blisters, neither of us.
So what have you learned in the last week and a half to protect your feet? What's all the advice that have come in?
Right. So of course people have given me a lot, like squirrel nut butter on your feet,
that's good.
Body Glide on your feet, taping your feet all the way before.
I tried that once. I didn't like it
because
my feet were swelling up.
Oh, and you'd feel tight.
I got to mile 50 at Bryce, and I was like, I gotta get this off now, or I'm gonna lose some
cut
toes.
my feet.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So I went and had coffee with Matt Connors yesterday, and he wanted he wanted me to break it down for him, and
should have said you need to wait till the podcast. I've got Trail Manners has exclusive rights. You don't have to wait, but I'll take the copy.
Yeah. And so he said, don't tape your feet.
Yeah.
Just do the Body Glide or like squirrel's nut butter or whatever first, and see how you do with that. So
what about changing socks? Did you change your socks?
I did, and my friends all washed my disgusting feet, and they drained my blisters, and then they did throw some duct tape on my blisters at one of the aid station volunteers did.
Did that help?
No, the blisters just grew around.
I'm going to get this nice square patch of blisters.
Yeah, right.
It was so disgusting. So, yeah. But we did, we learned. We got
So one of the things that Eric and I used to do is we would have a new pair of socks on the course that had some squeaky cheeks already in the socks.
Like we'd put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, exactly. It's like shake and bake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
So it's kind of prepared.
It's seasoned.
Pre-lubed. Yeah, in a way.
It's seasoned.
Yeah, it's seasoned.
It's seasoned.
Because that stuff's dry,
Yeah.
That's always something to try.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's soothing, too, on your feet
It
when
is.
you do put it on, too.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
But that is good because we saw a lot of blisters. I mean, the heat,
The heat,
100
the dust,
miles,
the
dust is bad.
Yeah, tears up your
Yeah.
feet.
Really, really good. Thank goodness I haven't had to deal with blisters for a few years now, literally.
So your feet have all just like toughened up.
Well, they're just sexy. They just aren't no blisters, you know. I get them worked on every couple days.
Hey.
No, they're nasty. They're feet. Come on, feet are just
feet
are just bad. Period.
They are.
I don't care
They
how
are.
cute they're supposed to be. What was your favorite moment of the race? The most memorable part of the race that you take a look at and love?
I loved that my kids came out and ran across the finish line.
That was cool. I saw that
Awesome.
video.
Yep.
I would say that was, for me, just so emotional, because just to see them so excited and
Right.
proud, and I just love that, you know, because I have all daughters, and so, like, my biggest goal is raising strong women, and I love that they can see that I'm willing to do some hard things and push through and finish it out, even though it was hard. I mean, they saw me along the course. They were at Lambs, so it was like my low coming off that, where I'm just sick and my blisters are starting, and just for them to then see me at the finish, it just was pretty emotional. I still get like a little teary-eyed from
Right.
it. I loved that. Another thing I really loved is because this is my hometown, and so all along at the aid stations, especially the first half of the race, because it was all northern Utah people.
Right.
Every aid station I'd go into, the volunteers are like, Erin, you know, because they know you.
'Cause you're famous.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, just ask Avery. I'm famous. My daughter. No, I'm not at all. But it was people that I know, and they were so good to me. It was just really awesome to be taken care of like that, and just to have like those little boosts every few miles with people just cheering for you and being really good to you. It was great. I love that too.
Don't you find that when you have, like with your kids and even the people you know, don't you find it's hard to be down? Like in front of your kids, you want to show them be a strong role model for, being a woman, and you see them and you're feeling horrible, but you're almost like, well, I can't let them see me.
Yeah.
They know you're not feeling good. They know they're wrong.
way down.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But I mean, doesn't that help you kind of maintain a level of, okay, I'm not that low because I'm not going there?
Yeah.
I mean, I've found that. I mean, I have daughters as well, and I hope they're the same, just super strong women. And even being a man, I'm like, you can do this. And they see how people like yourself. But yeah, I notice when I'm at an aid station, my daughter's there. I'm always like, yeah, feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yep. Scraping the puke off my chest.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. Man, so much
saving
puke
that.
on me. I don't know what happened.
Snack for later.
But I mean, it's nice, and even races we've done, and it's been fortunate for me and Joel. Kind of feel very lucky that we go to races and people, kind of know who we are, kind of, even though I think I'm Joel and he's Eric.
Yeah.
But, hey,
Works out pretty good.
Yeah. And so it's almost like, oh, cool. It's like you can't feel down.
Yeah,
almost.
it
It's
really is a boost.
Yeah.
I mean, I just loved it. I felt like I was kind of just flying, just super happy all the way through to Alexander Ridge, and then that's when the wheels kind of came off a little bit. But
I think that's normal.
yeah, that's what I've
For
heard.
most people.
Every person that's done Wasatch tells me, it all falls apart there.
One year I dropped my pacer from Alexander to Lambs, and because I was just so pissed because it was so hot. I just took off. I was like, screw it. But the next section sucked.
Right.
I was so tired.
Kicking your guts out.
I was like, I just want to get through this crap, though. Did the race? Did you have a sub-30 goal going into it? I mean, honestly. I mean, I know you're going to say I just wanted to finish, which is still good.
Yeah.
But I mean, as well as you've done in these other races, as hard as you trained, would you go into that saying I can do sub-30?
So, let's see. I put in 2 years ago for Wasatch and didn't get drawn, and then last year I put in, and then I got injured after Speed Goat, and so I didn't start. I wasn't able to start. So I really am going to honestly say, first my goal was to get to the starting line.
Right.
I was afraid.
Yep.
I was so afraid. I mean, I was so paranoid for the weeks leading up that I was like wanting to wear a medical mask around my house. So my kids wouldn't get me sick. I mean, I was just a weirdo. And so after that, it was get to the finish line. And then, I mean, I felt really strong going into Wasatch. Just really strong because I felt like I had laid the groundwork.
Right.
And so, I wanted the sub-30, but I was going to be conservative because I didn't want to blow up. Because I knew that could happen. It's happened to a lot of people I know, especially at Wasatch, just around that same area where they're just done. by the time they get to Brighton. So that's the answer.
Okay, that's a good answer. But in your head, did the race play out kind of how you expected it to, though? I mean, I know it's your first one, but I mean, you had to go into it going at some level, going, okay, and this, and people are probably telling you stuff about the race and the course. I mean, did it go, I don't say according to plan, but close to what you thought it would do?
I'd say yes and no. Yes, in terms of being steady, finishing steady, and needing some help, absolutely. My pacers were just really, really good to kind of tell me, like, let's try running, let's try moving, let's try eating, that type of thing. But like I said, it was different than I expected because I honestly, which is so novice of me, but I did not understand that it wasn't just about running.
Right. It's managing the variables.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was all different. I just thought, I'll run and it'll be hard because I'll get tired because it's 100 miles. But I didn't realize, like, you might have to suffer for a few hours and just be okay with that.
Right.
So sadly, I did not expect that, which is silly, but it's true. It's the truth.
Well, I mean, if you haven't done it, you still don't know.
But now you're like on the inside.
Yeah.
Right? You're on the other side. You understand a little bit of what it entails.
Yeah.
So now do you want more?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What would you do differently to get ready for? So when Joel says you want more, do you want to do Wasatch again, or do you want to do something another 100 before or after that? I mean, what are you thinking?
I would like to put in for Wasatch again.
Okay.
But I also, there's so many great races,
right,
and so many beautiful places to see that absolutely something else as well.
So what would you do differently if you could change your training or nutrition or your game plan, I guess? What would you do anything differently heading into a 100-mile race if, let's say, it was Wasatch?
Nutrition, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle for me. Even like Vaquero, I hardly ate anything. I just don't eat a lot when I run.
Right.
And that's okay when you're doing 30 miles.
So have you tried the whole food diet?
What?
Like eat a whole bunch of food?
Yeah. Like after Vaquero, when
or
you
even
that
like
quad burger?
Oh, yeah, no, I do that. So I eat a lot every other moment of my life.
Right.
I'm like, cheeseburgers are my friend, and I love to eat, and I eat a ton. But in terms of while I'm running,
you just stomach.
It's almost like I just don't have an appetite. And so I struggle
so what do you
with
drink then?
You do gels, drinks. What do you do?
Funny, I do vitamin water.
Vitamin water?
Yeah. That doesn't have a lot of calories in it, though.
It does have a bottle has like 120 or something calories, but it has a lot of potassium in it. You can get the one that has like 25% of your potassium, and I think I get low on that.
Gotcha.
So I drink that, and then I did Core Power shakes.
Right.
And like some goos and like waffles, and I found these. They're like these.
Wait, was this all just at Vaquero?
No, at Vaquero, I drink Coca-Cola.
Wait, that's a lot.
I don't eat
much.
Yeah. Eat pizza in my drop bag. Stuffed mushrooms.
Stuffed
at
mushrooms.
Vaquero, I drink Coke at every aid station, and I had like a goo.
Right.
And that's like about it.
So when you say goo, is it the actual brand goo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've never been good at. I don't really like those, but I carry them.
Have you tried like the 100 other million brands? Okay.
Oh my gosh!
I would recommend that.
Yeah.
Like go down to the running shop and just get a little grab bag of different styles.
Yeah.
Styles.
Yeah.
Because their textures are all different.
Totally different. Yeah. Because I can't do goo really at all. They have a couple flavors every once in a while.
A couple flavors are so tasty.
Yeah, like when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, because it's super sweet while you're running.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
It just kind of makes
and just the consistency of it.
It's a little thicker.
I like the little thinner stuff, except for the spring. Those spring energies are good.
So that reminds me, when I was going between Big Mountain and Lambs, I just suddenly felt like, oh man, I am hungry. So I texted my husband and my crew person, Ann Stockham, and I was like, I want a grilled cheese sandwich, some fries, and a Slurpee.
Oh, man.
At Lambs.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And so they brought those things, and I drank the Slurpee in like 2 seconds, which was a mistake, because that's, I think, where the stomach turned.
Could be.
And then the grilled cheese was like Velveeta, and it coated my mouth, and it was the worst. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever
tacky,
eat a grilled cheese again. It was disgusting.
Because Velveeta's not cheese, so that's
No,
right.
like cheese product. Yes.
Yeah. Because I like cheese.
Yeah.
So what flavor Slurpee did you have? Was it cherry?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it tasted good, but I think
I'm a Coke and cherry mix with a red straw.
Ooh.
That's how predictable I am at 7-Eleven.
And they're good though, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're hot, oh man.
If they don't have a red straw, I put it back.
You just set the cup
I'm
on
like,
the
You pour it back in the machine.
Yeah. I'm like, we'll put that in the mystery machine side. So, yeah, I think nutrition-wise, it seems like, so when you do your training runs, do you do nutrition to test it and stuff like that?
Yeah,
okay.
I did like a lot of like core power shakes. I did a lot of these smash packs is what they're called. I found them at Harmon's, but they're like a baby food pack, and then it's got protein and then some coconut oil for fat.
Okay.
So I kind of like that because it's not just
Smash
straight sugar.
pack.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Sounds like something in the kids' aisle.
Is it in the kids'
It's
aisle?
not. It's in the sports food aisle.
Okay, I'm going to check that out.
It's right next to the Capri Suns and the Lunchables.
But it is like baby food consistency.
Yeah.
And I did do some of that at Wasatch. And then other things I've trained with are like the waffles.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
Do you do any drinks besides vitamin water? Like any V Fuels or Scratch Labs or anything like that?
So I want to try V Fuel. I did Tailwind for a while, but it kind of bloaty. It
a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it didn't do well, so I stopped that for me. Yeah, I have friends that love it, but it just doesn't work for me.
I'm a scratch drink guy.
I like the goo too, the Summit tea. I know you don't.
I do now. It was just I was doing it wrong for a whole summer.
Snorting it was not the way to go.
I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know
pulling lines that.
I'm like, Joel, this is not working, and my brain hurts, and my eyes really chalky. My eyes really blurry. Yeah, and I'm like, the suppository way isn't good. I got to figure this out, man. This is not
the most correct way to absorb it, though.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. I need it now.
You're over there in the woods.
No
Get
one's
your
looking.
pants off.
Of course.
Yes.
Hey, man, if that's the way if that's on my tombstone, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, your tombstone is like this portrait of a pants.
It'll be
hanging on a tree.
Tree branch with like a porcelain pair of shorts on it. I'm good with that. So anybody out there that loves me, that's what I want.
You might as well just better put a deposit down now on that.
Get it paid beforehand.
That's right.
I'll just have to hit up like a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, hey, I wear your shorts all the time. When we buy it and we'll put your logo on it.
You get a Charmin sponsor.
So that's me. So what about what advice? Because there were a lot of first timers at this Wasatch that I noticed, and maybe because I knew them more. This was your first time, and now everybody. And I'm sure you heard a lot of advice from people. So what would you give advice for a first timer on a 100-miler?
I think some advice that one of my pacers gave to me beforehand was really good. It's like from the minute you wake up the day of the race till you're done, you cannot let anything bother you.
Okay.
You have to be okay with what comes, and not obsess or get too worked up about whatever happens. Like, oh yeah, I just got stung. All right, well that happened. So what can I do to manage that? But I'm not going to let it get to me too much. Or, oh, my pacer just disappeared. What am I going to do? Remember to drink, remember to eat, that type of thing. Just being really focused on, taking whatever comes and then managing it. So, and not getting too hung up on anything.
Right. Well, I think that's the challenge, though, is because you look at it in races like people are talking about the Wasps or the Hornets, and I'm so glad I didn't have experience that. But you got to figure that probably 80% or more people experience that, right? And in the heat, people experience that. So, I mean, you're not necessarily getting dealt what people aren't experiencing.
Correct.
Right?
Right, yeah.
And so even in you're in late in the race when you're hurt and it's like, hey, you're at mile 75, I can't think of anybody here that would come by this point that wouldn't have something bugging them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
A friend of mine that's done a lot of hundreds and a 200 just recently told me that on one of his first hundreds, he was kind of like sitting on the trail just whining about how terrible it was and how he wanted to quit. And he said, he doesn't even know her name, but an older woman came up to him and said, like, what did you think 100 was going to feel like?
I love it when those old ladies come
moving.
by. Just start giving you a hard time.
You're like, screw you. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a lot of us are so used to racing and running, and we just think that's what it's all about, but it's sort of just being able to endure endure other things,
right.
not just have good running endurance.
Well, I think one of the things that people miss on races, especially 50-plus mile races, is most of the time when people train, because you see it all over social media, is they're training with friends. They're having fun.
Yeah.
They're stopping for 20 minutes for the selfie thing, or whatever. So you're enjoying yourself. You're kind of breaking. It's it's not monotonous. But when you're in a race, those elements are gone. Like I don't care if you're running with friends, you're still not like selfie mode or
No.
You might be.
Yeah, you could be, I guess. But I think those variables, like. I've been thinking a lot about this lately, is the training aspect. If you train with people, but you race by yourself, it's still different. But if you train by yourself, you kind of can take a little bit of an edge into a race, right? You know, long run by yourself.
Right.
It may not be, recommended all the time because you want to be safe and careful with friends or whatever.
Right.
But I think that's something that I have probably overlooked a little bit or taken for granted maybe.
Yeah.
Because I run with Joel a lot. I mean, I run with Joel 90%. In fact, I ran at Jim Skaggs last week, and even though I paced him, a couple days later we went running, and I'm like, holy cow, this is weird.
Running in the daylight.
Well, yeah, running and it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sucks. My headlamp is doing me no good right now. Exactly. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, but I think it's you got to kind of get used to that a little bit more, and I think that's something I need to do. Run by myself more.
Yeah.
Even though running with somebody is good and it motivates you to get there sometimes.
Yeah.
But you're in a race, you're there.
And I do a lot of training alone. I probably have gotten out more this year with people than I normally do. But I just scheduling. It's hard to schedule. So I do a lot of my training by myself. And I enjoy both.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it's great to both of them. Yeah, for sure. Because me and Joel, when we ran with you at Malin's, that's pretty rare for us.
To have a big group like that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's been such a long time since I've done that.
Me and Joel showed up, and I was, nervous. I'm like, shit, what do you do?
They're talking a lot.
Yeah, are you supposed to talk back?
Yeah, exactly.
I just gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly.
Partly because I can't breathe. But, yeah, it's different. I mean, me and Joel, we could go on a morning run at 5 a.m., and we're 4 miles in before we're even saying a word, or vice versa. It's finished, we're not talking. But you go with a group, and it's, mandatory.
Yeah, right from the get-go.
Or if you don't talk, they're like, that guy's kind of an a-hole.
Man, what's going on back there?
What's he doing over there?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just uncomfortable mic check.
Aw. I'll never live that one down.
No, everybody does it. You think you're bad. I'm telling you what, me and Joel were the worst.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the first couple episodes were
episode 0 we recorded 4 times.
Easily.
Because we sucked so bad. We were sitting there staring at each other like, so this is a show of talking. No,
and we're both terrible at talking.
And then I'll say something, and I'm looking at Joel, and he's like, kind of looking at me like, you done? I'm like, are you going to talk? And it's like 10 minutes of silence.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's there to say something like, sorry, go ahead. We were horrible. So, people on this show, not one guest we've ever had on that I would honestly say didn't do a fantastic job. Yeah. Really. Because we know. We've come from the background of awkwardness, socially inept, whatever those words could be. Okay, so you did the Wasatch 100. You killed it, literally. I mean, under 30 hours on your first time. I mean, under 30 period on that course is good. Yeah, it's great. But, I mean, your first time out, going through things you did, you've been running 4 or 5 years, but maybe not a ton of racing, that distance. I mean, that's amazing. We were super psyched. We were like, holy crap. And we're like, I know, man, right?
Thank you, yeah.
That's why we got to have her on the show, because she's famous, too. That'll help us, right? Because she's got 1.3 billion followers on Instagram.
Not 3,
I have
but
maybe
1.3.
10.
Yeah.
10 billion? Okay.
Yeah, 10
No,
billion. Sorry,
10
my bad.
followers.
Oh, gosh.
So what's next? I mean,
for this year and next.
Yeah, what do you got? You got anything else coming up this year besides the Nordic Valley 7K?
So you guys keep setting that up on my daughter's birthday, December 15th, right?
Well, she can come. We'll let her in for free.
Okay, I'll tell Maddie.
It's a free entry.
It's the middle one. It's not the older one.
It's
all right.
Morning.
It's all right.
Yeah, okay.
It's a short race.
I don't have favorites.
In and out in an hour.
In an hour? All right.
Yes.
You can't ask me which one of your kids is my favorite. They're both my favorite.
There you go.
Have 2, right? Yeah, all 3 of them are my favorite.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a birthday. Well, I'll bring a happy birthday balloon.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that balloon, and I will bring Madison, and we will.
We'll give her complimentary cocoa.
She's actually done a couple 5Ks, and
How old is she going to be?
She's 10. She'll be 11.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's
She'll
like
crush it.
Yeah, perfect
Yeah.
for a 7K.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I will. I'll bring her.
All right, there
And
we
yes,
go. So
that is going to.
what else you doing? Anything else this year?
No, I haven't signed up for anything else this year. I need to. I didn't know how I was going to feel after Wasatch. I feel pretty good. Tired. You're tired after.
Right.
You're just tired.
Tired.
Hungry?
Yeah. Yes. Really, really hungry. But that's
You ready for a Velveeta
no.
grilled cheese? No.
No, but I
What
have.
about some spam on it?
I've had a lot of bacon cheeseburgers this
Nice.
last couple weeks,
Nice.
and I will have some more. No, I got to start signing up for stuff next year. I haven't signed up for anything else this year.
That's the problem with races anymore. You got to
Yeah.
get on them early.
Like
I've
right
been looking
now,
at
right?
races that are sold out for next year
Are
already.
you kidding
Mhm.
me? So Vaquero hasn't.
Not
They
yet.
haven't opened
They
up
haven't
yet.
opened yet.
I
That'll
didn't
sell
think
out
they'd
quicker,
open-
I
I know.
think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's number 15.
I gotta
Yeah.
get.
He's going to go after it.
I think I'm going to run it next year again.
Yeah.
You
I
are?
took my year off to cook burgers, and that was harder than running it.
Yeah, it
so
is, right?
I think it probably would have been.
Yeah.
So yes, Vaquero for sure. I want to do that next year.
I might do the 25K.
That's smart.
It'd be fun.
You can run it with my husband. He ran it.
Let's
That was
do
his
it.
first trail race.
Well, he did it this last year?
Yeah, he did it.
And he's doing 25 next year?
Uh-huh.
He should do the 50K next year.
We'll work on him.
We'll work on him. What about this fall? Anything? You looking at like the fall classic on the island?
You know what? I've thought about that actually. If it's not sold out yet,
It's
It
not.
won't be.
And I'm
It won't
emceeing
be?
the finish line.
Are you?
Mhm. I was
All
going
right,
to run
then.
it, but Jim told me I couldn't. Because he's like, you're going to MC the finish.
beat
I'm like,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to spoiler alert. So if you run it, you're going to be one of my victims.
Okay.
My
Perfect.
victims.
I wish we could do it differently, like everybody register, but when people I know come across,
Right.
I'm going to give a one-line or two-liner about them.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
something about turtles and.
What? No, it probably will be absolutely
Velveeta?
nothing to do. Like,
Velveeta for sure.
here comes
You'll
Erin
make
Hill,
it up.
number 43 from, I don't know, somewhere in Utah. On her spare time, she raises guinea pigs for their fur and makes socks.
That's right.
Stuff like that.
She milks the guinea pig
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
Velveeta.
Yeah. That's her
To
new
make cheese, imitation cheese.
Yeah,
and her new fuel for races.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so I'm coming up with all these crazy one-liners for the people I know.
Oh, now I have to register.
And
Yeah.
the people I don't know, I'm on the fence. Like
dude,
thought-
I think you go for
I think
it.
just- yeah.
offend the
They'll
mess
love it.
out of
yeah,
do
it.
and maybe
Yeah.
the people that I don't know, maybe they'll be milder, you know?
I think you just go for it.
Yeah, I
And,
think I'm
you know,
going to.
Jim's attitude is he doesn't give a damn.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about Jim. I
Yeah.
just don't,
No, I'm saying
I just
so
want
that-
more people not to like me.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
No, they'll love it. You should totally do it.
So you should do that one. It's
Okay.
not sold out. That's a really cool race, too.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to run it. So, Jim, sorry,
yes.
you suck.
I'll do that one. Then I'm going to put in for a couple
Couple
hundreds and see what I
couple
get.
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, just hard rock, you know.
No.
What do you mean? Western?
She gives me the. Psst.
No.
I know what that means.
Yeah, it means, yeah, but I won't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. No. I'll be that. Well, I'll be like Austin Baird, and I'll get in.
Yeah.
You know,
First
Your
2
first
years
try.
to try.
First.
First time got in. Second time got in. I'm like,
Craziness.
hey.
Yeah. So I think the bear would be really a fun one.
Yeah.
To do.
Are you pacing at that or crewing
I
at that?
am.
Who are you pacing?
Anne.
Stockholm? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Nice.
Good.
Yeah. So I told her, it's her funeral. I'm still tired. So we'll see if she really wants me there. But
I would be a better pacer and not bring up funeral. You're supposed to be positive.
Oh, shoot.
There's
Yeah.
your hint.
Yeah. This is your little pony party.
Yeah.
Something
You
fun,
got this.
right?
She's awesome.
Something
She's solid.
Yeah.
She's fine. But it's the last 20 miles, so it'll be
Okay.
slow.
Yeah.
And,
It's pretty though.
oh.
Coming over to see that lake. And
Yeah.
the gorgeous, easy downhill to the finish.
Yeah. Nice and gentle.
No. I've already heard.
Yeah.
So you're thinking the Bear. You're thinking maybe Wasatch.
for sure.
Right.
I'll put in and
What are
see.
some races that?
Well, like springtime races.
Yeah. What are some races you're looking at to do? I mean, I know you got the Gib Wallace in May.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that schedule for you. What else you got? Anything else?
Gosh, no.
You thinking of stuff? El Vaquero, you going back to that?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do Vaquero
So
again.
you got Vaquero and the Bear for sure.
Yeah.
Those are two you can definitely get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? You guys give me some ideas. What? You
Man.
saw my race history. I don't
No, just trying to think. Do you want to stay local, or are you looking
no,
at,
I think I would travel.
like
Okay.
just a little ways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not Europe
Yeah.
next year.
What about some desert racing?
I'm out. Jill's in there with this. You're thinking Black Hills. No?
Oh, anything. Like
you know it's a good one.
Coldwater Rumble, Black Hill,
Red Mountain.
Red Mountain's good.
Yeah, down in St. George.
That's the first weekend of March.
What's the distance on that one?
I have a few, 50K, 30K.
Is that the Red Hot?
Red Mountain.
No, the Red Hot's in February.
Yeah, and that's 50 and 30 Ks.
I'd like the Red Mountain more.
That's a fun race. I love the layout of that course.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence on that one for next year.
All right. I'm going to get on Ultra Sign.
It's so nice because it goes to St. George at that time, too.
Yeah.
Capstone in December. That's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that. Monument Valley. You need to go do that.
Twisted Fork.
That's a Twisted Fork for sure. Oh,
that's
my
a
gosh.
tough one.
Except for you got part of that Wasatch course. That
Yeah.
Oh,
you
and
wanted to forget so badly.
Yeah, that part? No, I'm good. I'll save that.
Save that for
another day. Palisades is a good one.
Yeah. I actually have
go
thought
do
about
the marathon
that one.
and then 50K the following weekend.
Yeah,
something like that.
Because it's right before Vaquero, correct?
Yeah, and they do a special prize. They'll probably do one next year.
Oh, so
Palisades is a great race.
Yeah.
Zion, a race down in Zion.
I have some friends that go do the Traverse in
that
the
weekend.
Spring.
Let's go do that.
Yeah,
I
and I
kind
of like doing that kind of because you're doing your own
About
thing.
Bryce, they moved Bryce back to the
May
middle of
18th.
May.
Yeah, same.
So it's a little.
Wait,
was
like
it in June?
Yeah, it was the first weekend in June.
Cooler.
So you
No,
got
May 18th.
2 weeks earlier this time.
Yeah.
You guys got me signed up for a lot of races
No,
already.
these are just suggestions.
Suggestions.
They're close by. More than anything else.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think I would look at Palisades for sure.
That's a beautiful area.
Sinks Canyon.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Go up to Lander.
Gabe Joyce puts that on. That's a good one. Pretty area.
Have you guys email me all these?
Right.
That'll be easy. I'll just send you the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I've got a spreadsheet.
Guys.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm really looking into Black Hills next year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be really cool. That area.
So I've always wanted to do Bighorn, but I'm like Black Hills looks funner and a little more safe and safer.
Yeah.
And I want to take my daughter to the Mount Rushmore.
Gotcha.
Stay
they
in
got
Rapid City.
the other big one that's up there, not Mount Rushmore, the one for the Native American.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of that one.
Something horse.
Yeah. No.
Kicking horse.
No.
The big carving.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Crazy Horse.
Crazy
There
horse.
we
There you
go.
go. I was close. Kicking horse is a ski resort.
Yeah, Kicking Horse.
It is. It's up in
Kicking
Canada.
Horse. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of them. So you got to get on those.
Okay.
But it's super awesome to see how well you did at Wasatch.
Yeah.
Thank
I was
you.
pretty excited for you. I was excited. There's a lot of people I saw that were running their first one, and it was tough out there. Just the pacing section, I knew because I saw so many people struggling.
Yeah, I think they had like 187 finish, and there were 300 that started. So it was.
Yeah, they always overdraw to get like around 250-ish.
Yeah.
Right in there.
I think three. They had like 400. They drew like 4 something,
Yeah.
and then 3 raced, and like 113 or something dropped. So it was
That's a lot.
It's a little more than a third. I think it's generally like a quarter to a third, right?
Yeah, I don't know. You can do
DNFing.
the math over there. I'm out. My calculator.
Whatever. I listened to your interview with Tara. You're adding up all these bib numbers. And
Making
That's different
8.
math.
That's different.
That's
like
Rain
he's
Man math.
into that type of math.
That's Rain Man math.
Yeah,
I've got that dialed in. I can use letters involved in that whole thing.
That's true, right?
My apartment number, I got it to equal 8. It was
God.
A429. A is actually the first. That's a 1. And I just went from there and just nailed it.
Yeah.
Easy. Once you get that. So, yeah, that's Rain Man numbers. That's totally different.
Yeah, he walked up to his apartment number and just stared at it for a little bit.
I did, too.
I was like, dude, you okay?
I've got to make it.
Yeah,
Make
if
it.
it was a TV show, a cartoon, you would have saw numbers and letters flying above
exactly.
my head.
Right?
Mixed in with a couple cheese curds, just out of the blue.
Cheese curds. I brought you cheese curds.
Nice. We always like those.
My daughter's soccer number is 8, so it's a good number.
Oh, it is a good number.
Avery's is.
Mhm.
She's like a superstar, man.
She's amazing. She really is.
You need to be like her godfather.
I know,
You
right?
do. After I
I
saw
gotta get an accent.
your Guinness, like your world
yeah.
record sport, like for the longest soccer game, I showed it to her. She was like, "That is so cool." So I got to get you guys together to talk soccer more because
man.
she loved it.
I have a friend of mine that's trying to get me back into coaching.
Oh, you should.
U12 boys out in Kaysville somewhere.
Right.
You
Yeah.
should do it.
Thinking about it. I miss it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, soccer's still my thing. Always will be. I'm a trail runner. My next podcast will be on soccer. We get 7 listeners on that one, so a couple less than this one. Yeah, right. Her team, hopefully. I'll sponsor them if they listen.
They would, yes.
No, super awesome. Thanks for making the time to
Thanks, guys.
get back to us because we're kicking off a good fall session, and super happy to have you on. It's been awesome to get to know you, seeing how well you do.
Thank you.
Just your mentality, your attitude, we love it. And we hope nothing but more success in the future. Even though you might not see us any more group runs.
Yeah.
Especially if you guys insist on talking.
If I'm quiet, will you guys come on some more group runs?
Yes.
If people bring microphones, even if they're not attached to anything, we could just carry them and talk because that's more natural
I'm going to
for
bring
us.
you one of those little kid ones on the
Yes.
run, and then
Like
guys,
you sing into?
Yes,
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
I would totally
That'd be
do
awesome.
that. That would be like more natural because people like all the time like, I can't believe you think you're
You
awkward
would
around
stop
people.
and
I'm
like talking into the microphone while you're talking to them.
Yeah, I
You're
totally
right.
would.
That would be
Like,
awesome.
Yeah, so you turn left up ahead. And then just take off
You're
running.
doing mic check right before you start the run. Everybody do their mic check real quick.
Yeah. I'm the only one with a mic.
Yeah.
With no cord, no batteries. Nothing.
It's wireless, dude.
It's got to have a foam thing on it.
It's going to have the wah-wah sound in it.
Yeah, because if it hurts my face, I smack my face, that would hurt on a run. We're regressing here.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
Super excited to see what you do in the future. I mean, just from what you've been putting out this year, El Vaquero, super stout time, obviously Wasatch, everything you've done. So we wish you nothing but success and can't wait to get you back on the show. When you got to do something else really cool, though.
I will.
To get back on the show. Like
I'll
defend
try.
one of my kids in court if they get to that point.
You only got one that's actually going to be at that age group. The other one's actually an adult now.
I know, and the young one's got no chance of being in that group.
No way.
She's way. I got to get her into some trouble soon.
I know, right?
Even if I got to fabricate it.
Yep, exactly.
She's like, I'm like,
She's such an angel.
Yeah, it's like, can't do this. Your life's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen when adversity
Well, hopefully
hits.
she doesn't like have like this post high school just like blowout.
She won't. I won't let her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll
nope,
kill
it's
her.
not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Not going to happen. I'll lock her under the sink.
Under the sink.
It worked for the first one. Thanks for joining us. We'll get back to what you're doing, and yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, this is Eric and Joel and Erin Hill. We are out. Thank you for listening to Trail Manners Podcast. We'd like to thank Erin Hill for joining us today and talking about her amazing experience at the Wasatch 100. We also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website at trailmanners.com. There you can check out our store page for the very few items we have left to purchase, or hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.